Welcome to the Parrot Veranda. Thank you for choosing our home for your vacation. We recently purchased it and have been busy making improvements. We created this video to help you maximize your stay at our little slice of paradise. It covers a lot of things you may miss otherwise and should save you time getting acclimated. You can use the bookmarks in the description to jump to any section of the video. We want to make sure you have an amazing vacation, and if you have any problems, please do not hesitate to reach out to the management company. Their contact information should be in your welcome email. We have also posted additional videos here of things we have enjoyed doing while staying here, and will continue to post more as we experience more of Marathon and the Lower Keys. We are also looking for ways to improve our guests' experience, so please feel free to comment on the video. Again, thanks for choosing the Parrot Veranda, and we hope you have an unforgettable experience. So just to review a couple things with the entertainment center up here. First of all, you're welcome to play the steel drums. Just ask that you don't hit them too hard because you can put them out of tune. We have the electric guitar. There's an amp here. Should be a plug. It works no problem. Mostly want to make sure we point out what's going on with the entertainment center. It can look a little overwhelming. Obviously, we've got lots of DVDs and record player. There's a 400 disc player with a guide that you can use to go through it. There's a remote control, which is the easiest way to use that. The TV, cable, DVD player, everything runs through this receiver, and there's tape on here that tells you which input to use to play which component, including also connecting to your phone. You can play songs using Bluetooth on your phone as well. The one thing that I want to point out is occasionally the components and the power for the receiver can get off sync. So if you're turning on, say, the TV, if I hit the power on, it should turn both the TV on, the cable box, and the receiver. Sometimes they can get off sync. So if that happens, start over by just going to the individual remotes, turn all of the components off, and then start again, okay? That's a big problem that people have had, and if you just turn everything off and then restart, everything will be back in sync again. Other thing I want to point out, there is a remote. We actually didn't realize this for a couple months. The fan here runs on a remote. The light runs on the remote, and the speed of the fan also has its remote. So you turn those on using your switch right here, but then you still can operate and increase the speed or turn the lights on and off. So just to point out a couple other things with the rest of the house. The towels for downstairs will be here. There's an extra blanket as well that you can use in the living room. The laundry room or the laundry machine is here. If you have any problems with it starting, check the power, turn the power off, and turn the power back on. That usually fixes it. Within the bathrooms, both bathrooms neither have fans. It's a concrete house, so what we do is if you open up the windows all the way, usually that takes care of any extra condensation. So open those up, come on through here. You got extra blankets within some of the closets. Both rooms have charging stations. So here we have a charging station underneath. There's actually also a USB plug in the lamp. So moving into the other bedroom, we have next to each of the sides of the bed, we actually have charging stations tucked in here. So on both sides you have plugs and also USB plugs. Okay, so to review actually our favorite part of the house, the veranda, we want to just show we have the barbecue for you. Both gas tanks should be filled. If you have any problems with running out of gas, contact the property manager. There are tools in here as well for barbecuing. The porch swing is also one of our favorite seats because you can see the sky light up at night. Just a couple words of caution. Please just be careful getting in and out of the swing. Also, we found we have a lot of these blue cups for you. If you use these blue cups in here, if you have like a beer or something, you can use these to actually put your drink into. The Turbis tumblers that you're also welcome to use will also fit nicely into here. And finally, if we get a really heavy rain, oftentimes water will puddle on the edge of the porch. So tucked right around here, we have a little squeegee that you can use. And if you push the water off, then it will dry out much faster. You don't have to, the water will dry out and slowly drain, but we do find that's really helpful. All right, well, one more exciting thing that we really enjoy are the bikes. You're welcome to use the bikes. There's a lot of nice neighborhoods to ride around in. We also oftentimes will ride the bikes up to Dockside's bar, watch a band, have some drinks and food. It's a perfect distance to be able to take the bikes without sweating. So we've got 4 bikes for you, 1960s kind of restored bike. And some other fun bikes here. Most of them have drink holders and they all have lights. So if you do go at night, you do need to make sure that you turn on the front and back light. So literally all you have to do is push this button here, turns it on, you can go to a blink and then just hit it again, it turns off. Same on the rear. We have a little light here that we can turn on, and you want to make sure that you have the lights so that you are seen and you are legal. The other thing about the bikes is we also have a nice bike pump. You want to check your tires before you go. Some of these tires are a little bit older than others, so they may lose air a little bit. So just check, make sure that the tires are nice and full. And finally, we've got locks. So these will be locked in place when you get here. So this has a combination lock. So the combination is the number of the address here. So it is also written upstairs on one of the cabinets and one of the information sheets that's posted. We also have a couple locks that you can bring with you so that if you go someplace, you can also lock the bikes where you are. The combination is the same, also the same as the number of the address. So be safe. Have fun, and we hope you enjoy them. So there's not a whole lot about the pool itself that we want to share. One thing I do want to share is don't push those buttons. One is for a vacuum that's not necessary. The other opens up a blower that just makes a ton of noise. If for some reason you do hit it by mistake and you have something running really loud, please report that to the manager of the property. We want to make sure that doesn't disrupt your vacation with that sound. Obviously, with the downstairs, we have a lot of games and activities for you to do. So we have Ringo. I will tell you that Ringo is kind of challenging. But the way that we play it is that you can keep track of how many times you hit it, and actually hit it, you can get a point, or if you score, you can get a point. So you can look it up online. Electric darts, this is really fun. Make sure you have trash talking turned on. It's really, really fun.
What on earth are you aiming at? Ever think of going pro? You must. Excuse me, you're a disgrace to the sport of darts. Remove darts.
One thing I will point out, so we do occasionally have an influx of worms that try to come in here, especially after a heavy rain. So you can use this to shut them out if they bug you, if the pool people haven't come recently. We also have a dustpan and a little sweeper that you can use as well. A lot of times I'll just come down for like 5 minutes, clean up any that might have gotten in. We have extra dart equipment in here, so if any of the darts break or need a new tip or feather, you can use those. This is also where we keep paddles and nets for the ping pong table. These are also stored in here. The bags for the cornhole are right here. Very important though, the radio is a marine radio because we're down in a water environment. So you do need to turn, and we have this all marked here, you do need to turn the power on in order to operate the radio. Now the cool thing I love about the radio is not only can you go ahead and hook it up to your Bluetooth, but when you turn it on, there are two light buttons and you can connect to it, but there's also this little double light here and then there's single light. But watch what happens. I can turn the front lights on and I can turn actually reflective light, especially at night, looks really cool. And if you want to pair, and if it's not pairing when you first turn it on, you can just hold your Bluetooth button down. Here also, if you're going to the beach and you don't have sand toys, feel free, if you got young kids, check out what's there. Those have all been left by previous guests, so I'm not quite sure what all is there. Coolers you're welcome to use, extra chairs as well. And then next to the refrigerator is the hammock. So you can go out, put that out on the hammock. I would just recommend bring it in if it starts getting really windy. Just kind of roll it up and throw it back in here. Finally, the refrigerator. This is really great for keeping like lots of beverages and stuff, but we ask that this is the only freezer where you keep bait. So if you have bait that you have that's frozen, please only put it in this refrigerator. Okay, so now the hot tub. This is actually our newest addition. We're excited to be adding this. Just want to walk through a few of the ways to best kind of use the hot tub. First of all, I think people don't always see is that this cover has a lift. So what you do is you just fold this over and it catches on this pole, and then all you have to do is to rock this pole back and keep it out of the way. So it's really convenient. It also protects the cover from getting damaged. You'll see a little duck floating. Those are bromine tablets. They're very, very slow release. You can certainly leave them in here when you're in here, no problem, but you're welcome to lay it out if you'd rather as well. This little sailboat just floats around and collects up any like oils or suntan lotion or things like that you might have that come off of your skin. Coming around here, we do have, if you can see, some hooks. We've got some hooks to hang your towels and clothes if you want. This is where you're going to do most of your controls here. So I'm going to actually turn the heat down a little bit. So typically you're going to find you'll lose a couple degrees while you're in. So we'll go ahead and you can adjust the temperature. We definitely recommend don't turn this thing too high. You don't need it that high, and then it will end up wasting a whole lot of energy. So we ask if you're done, turn that thing back down to like 100 degrees. You have a light button, which is pretty cool. If you hit it once, hit it again, it will turn off. Hit it again, it'll change colors. So every time you hit it and then hit it again, it'll change colors. So at night, really very cool. Let me turn that off. You also have your jets. So when I turn the jets on initially, they're going to be just going to activate it. If I hit it again, it's going to be on low. And then if I hit it again, it's going to be on high. So the one thing you'll see, there's not a lot of jets going, which is not great. We've got to make sure, you want to make sure you have some jets open. So each of the jets themselves are controlled, or most of them are controlled with a little surrounder thing that surrounds the jets themselves. So you can turn them on, but definitely just ask, don't turn them all off because it does need the jets to circulate when it's cleaning and running things through the filter. So make sure you do that. We've got a nice little shelf for you to put beer or phones or whatever you want to put there. We definitely recommend if you have a portable music player, use it when you're listening to music in the hot tub. because you'll find with this concrete wall, that big radio, you have to turn it really, really loud to really hear it, and then it just blows out all the noises. So we would recommend if you have a portable music player, use that while you're in the hot tub. Finally, do you see these just controls the amount of air that kind of goes through the jets, so it kind of turns them higher or lower. Just make sure these are kind of in the middle when you go to turn them on. So the last thing I'm going to add about the hot tub, if it's just a couple of you, 2 or 3 people, you're not going to have any problems. So at some point during the week, the pool guys will come. They'll check the chemicals of the pool and the hot tub. But if you have a lot of people heavily using it, then we do recommend at the end of the day, take 1.5 of these tablespoons, whatever we have in there, and spread that in directly into the water at the end of the day, and that will dissipate. Not going to make it smell a lot of chemicals or anything. It just helps to kind of shock the water and just help keep it clean. So one of the great things about this location is you can paddle to a number of really cool places and stay really very sheltered. Okay, you're not going to have to deal with a lot of heavy wind. You're not going to have to deal with tons of current. Really very simple paddling. From here, we love to go, and you can go to the right or left. You can look at the map. It's easy to get around. And you basically want to take this out. The canal's back out to Sisters Creek. When you get to Sisters Creek, you can go right, head up to Boot Key Harbor. If you want to stay a little longer, turn a right in Boot Key Harbor, go all the way down to Docksides Bar, where they have bands playing. You can get food and drinks. If you get to Sisters Creek and you want to go to Sombrero Beach, take a left. And if you want to go, which is one of our favorite spots, to go into the mangroves, right? All the covered mangroves. If you go, and we will post a couple videos that show you the directions on where to get it on the Parrot Veranda YouTube site. But if you go up like you're going to Boot Key Harbor, you'll see it on the left, and you can go way up in there and way up into even really tight covered mangroves that I would highly recommend. You never know what you're going to be seeing. You'll see dolphins and jumping fish and lots of birds. So highly recommend taking these kayaks out if you're able, and check out a couple of the different routes. To start with, inside we have the kayaking closet. So this is where all the equipment's going to be if you want to go out kayaking. We have PFDs, paddles. We also have these seats. These are going to be the seats if you want to take out the fishing kayak, the double. You'll want to take these seats out with you. We'll take a couple of these paddles. And one thing I'm going to suggest to you is, if you're going out, always make sure, even if it's really hot and you're not going to wear them, you do need to have a PFD on the boat for each person that's on the kayak. I also recommend bring a cell phone in a waterproof bag. Also, if you're going to go out for sunset, which is one of our favorite things to do, if you have a waterproof light, bring that with you as well, because it does, by the time you get done with sunset and you're paddling back, does start to get pretty dark. You'll probably be okay, but I would recommend, if you have that, to go ahead and bring that as well.
Go.
Okay, so now what we've done is we brought the paddle, and I'm going to go ahead and take the fishing kayak out. So I grabbed the seat with me and a PFD. We took this thing down, and I'm just going to show quickly how to put one of these seats in. Very similar, putting both seats in. This fishing kayak is really meant to be taken out with 2 people. If you are really going out by yourself, this kayak allows you to move this back band and move it to the middle seat. So it's a much better paddle if you're by yourself and you want to take a bigger kayak out, or you can take one of these tiny little kayaks out. You're welcome to take all 4 sit-on tops. We just ask that you don't try to use these sea kayaks. So once I get these things in, it's really important to actually hook these things in. There's little bungees here that you hook and then attach. So we can do that with both sides. So that way, if for some reason, if you capsize, which is so hard to do, then these seats will not actually fall out and sink on you. So once I've done that, I'm gonna go ahead. It's a really hot day today. I'm not gonna wear my PFD, but I am gonna go ahead and throw this thing in here so that I have it with me. I also have a whistle in case I get into any trouble. And I grab my paddle, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have my bow, which has a line on it, and it'll be important later. I'll have that in front. And these things will last forever, so don't worry about keeping them gently. You can just drag these things around. So drag this over here, and come on forwards here, we'll show. We have a nice roller here, which makes getting them in and out of the water really very convenient. So I'm gonna put this paddle here so I can get to it. But you see this little roller here. And what I'll do is grab the bow line and gently roll this thing off. Drop that there. I've got plenty of line here. Let me go ahead. Got my paddle. And then now back down the ladder and onto the floating kayak dock. So from here, go ahead, put this down for now. Bring this kayak here. Just run this up here into the middle. Now since I'm getting in the back, I'll do that, but if you have more than one person, you can load both people. Right now I'm getting in, not a big deal. When we go to get out, we'll need to use this bow line. So I want to make sure it's accessible to me. So I'm going to go ahead, use my handle, step into my kayak. And there we go. So from here, I can just push myself out. Since I'm by myself, it really has a lot of weight on the back, but I can now, you actually can head in either direction by kayak, whereas by big boat, you have to go that way. So I'm here, so now I'm going to come in. So as I come in here, I'm going to get a little bit of speed up. Set my paddle down, pull my kayak up. Now this is where it's going to be really important. Getting in and out is really much easier if you've got your bow line here. So what you want to do is just wrap this thing around a few times. Okay? So then when I go to stand up, I can grab this line here so it doesn't slip. And you see, it keeps the boat from flipping forwards. So once I do that, I can go ahead and I can step here if I need to. I'll step out, and then I will unwind my bow line, reverse the entire process. It'll take a second to spin this around, but as soon as I lift this up, I want to grab the kayak itself and then pull it up. Pull the seats out, put it back upside down on the kayak rack, and then take the bow line and tie it in so that if you get a big wind, it doesn't blow it off.
Go.
All right, one of my favorite things at night is the side lights. So there's a switch on the side of the house and lights up the side yard. It's actually really cool to have those lit when you're hanging out in the hot tub. Come this way, take a look at the lights on the dock too. It allows you to keep the lights low so that you can see the fish jumping at night. You can come out here. Thank you for staying at the Parrot Veranda, and I hope you have an amazing vacation. Thank you.